Here's a YouTube article on early Ford car evolution. A model 1907, written without referencing the vehicle's condition. Early Ford car evolution. At the 1907 milestone, the story of the automobile wouldn't be complete without the pioneering role of the Ford Motor Company. As the 20th century unfolded, Ford emerged as a powerful force that would revolutionize not just cars, but manufacturing, mobility, and society as a whole. By 1907, Henry Ford's vision was already shifting the gears of history. The early years of Ford Motor Company, founded in 1903 by Henry Ford and a group of investors, the Ford Motor Company quickly set its sights on mass production and affordability. Their goal was simple but revolutionary: build a car that the average person could own and operate. While earlier cars were luxurious toys for the wealthy elite, Ford wanted to democratize the automobile. Before 1907, Ford had already released several models, starting with the Model in 1903, followed by the Models B, C, F, K, and N. Each was a step toward refining automotive design, durability, and price. But 1907 marked a key turning point, as it represented the bridge between experimentation and standardization. The 1907 Ford lineup. By 1907, Ford was offering multiple models, each catering to a different segment of the market. At the center of attention were the Model N, Model R, and Model S, each marking advancements in engineering and approachability. Ford Model N, 1906–1908, launched in 1906 and continuing production into 1907, the Model N was Ford's first four-cylinder car and a game-changer. Priced around $500, about $16,000 today, it was the most affordable car of its kind. Key features included a 15-horsepower, four-cylinder engine, rear-wheel drive with a 2-speed planetary transmission, top speed of around 40 miles per hour, wood spoke wheels, and a high riding stance ideal for rough roads. The Model N sold well, with over 7,000 units produced, an impressive figure at a time when car ownership was still rare. It proved that a reliable, powerful, yet economical vehicle could be a commercial success. Ford Model R, 1907. As a more refined version of the Model N, the Model R introduced several stylistic and functional enhancements. This model was slightly more expensive, priced at about $650, and targeted buyers seeking more comfort and style without sacrificing affordability. Differences from the Model N: full fenders for improved splash protection, running boards for easier access, enhanced interior trim, upgraded lamps and horn. The Model R's enhancements made it more appealing in urban environments while maintaining the robustness required for rural roads. Ford Model S, 1907–1909, replacing the Model R. The Model S was available in two variants, the Runabout and the Roadster. The Model S was essentially the final evolution of the Model N line and showed how Ford was learning from each iteration. Notable features: same 15-horsepower four-cylinder engine, improved ignition and oiling system, sleeker bodywork and curved front fenders, available optional extras such as a convertible top. The Model S was the last step before Ford launched its most iconic creation, the Model T, setting the stage for the Model T. Though the legendary Model T would not debut until 1908, everything Ford learned from the Models N, R, and S laid the foundation for it. The Model T would go on to become the most important car of the 20th century, but its success was due in part to the trial-and-error development of these earlier models. 1907, then, was not a year of grand reinvention, but rather a time of strategic evolution. The vehicles Ford built that year showed increasing reliability, customer focus, and forward-thinking design. This progression convinced Henry Ford that his dream of a universal car could become a reality. Henry Ford's vision and factory innovations. What made Ford's cars so influential wasn't just the vehicles themselves, it was the vision and the methods behind them. By 1907, Ford was already developing the concept of a moving assembly line, while the full implementation would happen in 1913. The groundwork was being laid. Parts standardization, simplified designs, and training protocols were tested through 1907's lineup. Each new model gave Ford insight into how to build better cars faster and cheaper. The market in 1907. To understand the importance of Ford's 1907 offerings, it's essential to look at the broader context. America's automobile industry was still young. Brands like Cadillac, Oldsmobile, and Packard were producing luxury models at high prices. Ford stood apart by targeting the middle class. In an era where most Americans traveled on foot, by horse, or via rail, Ford was building machines for the people. The economic panic of 1907 and major financial crises also demonstrated the value of affordable, reliable transportation. Ford sales did not just survive the panic, they grew. That success helped Ford gain investor confidence and accelerated plans for future expansion. Legacy of the 1907 Ford models. While none of the 1907 models are household names today like the Model T, they represent an irreplaceable part of automotive evolution. Model N, first step into mass-market four-cylinder vehicles. Model R, a bridge between economy and refinement. Model S, the final iteration before the production of the Model T. Each model in 1907 contributed not just to Ford's success but to shaping the concept of what a personal vehicle should be: affordable, practical, and reliable. Engineering simplicity. Ford's genius was in simplifying complexity. The two-speed planetary transmission used in 1907 was easy for new drivers to understand. Unlike manual gearboxes, it didn't require clutch balancing or gear guessing. This was critical in a time when driver training didn't exist for the average person. The four-cylinder engine offered more power without significantly increasing cost or complexity. The models were designed with parts interchangeability in mind, making repairs and replacements easier, a trait that would become a Ford hallmark. Ford's impact beyond cars. Ford's vehicles also played a part in shaping modern infrastructure. The rising number of cars led to improved roads, gas stations, and new laws governing traffic. The 1907 models, through their increased popularity, nudged society toward this automotive future. They also had cultural impact. Cars were no longer just status symbols, they were becoming tools of freedom. A farmer could now travel to town more quickly. A shopkeeper could move goods more efficiently. The American landscape socially and physically was changing, and Ford was at the wheel. The final step before the revolution. 1907 was the calm before the storm in automotive history, a time when Ford was testing, refining, and listening to the needs of customers. The transition from Model N to Model S reflected not just technological growth, but a sharpening focus on utility and simplicity. What Ford achieved in 1907 wasn't merely more car sales, it was proof that the public was ready for a world where cars were not a curiosity, but a necessity, where mobility would no longer be a luxury, but a right. And in that pivotal year, with 3 strong models and a bold vision, Ford stood ready to launch the most influential vehicle of all time just 1 year later. Let me know if you'd like a thumbnail idea or voiceover script to accompany this article for your YouTube video.